So this week has been kind of interesting. I actually bought Animal Crossing yesterday as I'm recording this, and it's kind of become a bit of an addiction. If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been tweeting about it and how much I love the game. Because I used to actually play Animal Crossing back in the day. I had an R4 card, if you know what one of those is. It's kind of like a device with a bunch of DS games, and I think it had Animal Crossing Wild World on it. It wasn't New Leaf, because it was definitely before New Leaf had even come out. But I think that's why I want to say Wild World, because it looked like shit. And I even remember saying that, like, wow, this game looks like shit. But even then, I still really enjoyed Animal Crossing. And I've not played a game since then. I might have had New Leaf as well on that R4 card. But, yeah, basically I never really played it. And all I'd ever played was Wild World. And yeah, now I'm back playing New Horizons on my Switch, and it's basically just consumed every part of my life. I've literally been playing Animal Crossing today for about 6 hours, like non-stop. I got back from my lecture, and I literally just booted up my Switch and started playing Animal Crossing. But yeah, alright, let's move on from the conversation about my addiction to a Nintendo game, and let's talk about what this video is. Because if you guys remember, on the 25th of October last year, when Modern Warfare was officially 1 year old, I made a kind of like a retrospective video talking about like what I liked about the game, and obviously it was a very positive review because I really do, and well, I did and still do really enjoy Modern Warfare, other than the server issues which make me want to kill myself. What this video is going to be is a similar sort of video. We're going to be taking a look at Cold War, because as you guys may or may not know, today, as you are seeing this, is the 1 year anniversary of Black Ops Cold War. And I thought I'd make my retrospective today to kind of commemorate that. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking speak. But yeah, I want to commemorate that, and this is probably going to be a yearly thing going forward. So when Vanguard hits when Vanguard hits its 1 year anniversary, I'll be sure to make a review on that, and that will be on November 8th, 2022, which is kind of mad. But yeah, this is going to be a very different sort of tone to my Modern Warfare video, just because I gave Modern Warfare a lot of praise, because I really enjoyed the game. But this year, it's going to be a bit different. I did enjoy Black Ops Cold War, I will be honest with you guys. I thought that this could have been one of the best Call of Duty games of all time. But it wasn't, and that's hence the title. Why is Black Ops Cold War so disappointing? Because this game was a massive disappointment from start to finish. It wasn't even supposed to exist, if many of you guys remember back. Basically, Sledgehammer and Raven were working on a Call of Duty game set in the Cold War, and they basically had like a falling out and couldn't agree on how they wanted to take the game. So in 2019, Treyarch took over and basically made it into a Black Ops game. Now, this has obviously affected development, and yeah, this is kind of why the game didn't even feel complete until about, Season 4, which would have been like June this year, which is kind of mad, to be honest with you. But yeah, if you don't know how this review is going to work, I'm going to talk about the things I really enjoyed about this game, then I'm going to move on to the meh, which is going to be the next category. And that's usually the shortest one, because with Cold War and like Modern Warfare last year, it's very divisive, this game. So there isn't that much to say in the meh. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's basically stuff that I don't particularly like about the game, but it's in there and I don't really care otherwise. And then there's the bad, which is the stuff that kind of like ruins the game for me. And we're gonna get into that, because there's a lot to say about Black Ops Cold War. But yeah, without further ado, we are going to jump straight in to the good now, because honestly I've wasted too much time talking about my addiction to Animal Crossing. But yeah, we are going to move on, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. So, welcome back everyone. Hopefully you all had fun in that literal, 5 seconds that you had a bit of a break. Maybe you made a cup of tea in that time, who knows, maybe you're fucking magic. But yeah, in this segment we're going to be talking about what I feel is the good aspect of Black Ops Cold War. So, without wasting any time, we're just going to jump in, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Wait, what? No, enjoy the video. But yeah, the first thing that I really liked, as compared to Modern Warfare, because throughout this video, you are going to see a lot of comparisons to Modern Warfare, and even some to Vanguard, just because those are the Call of Duties that came before and after it, and I want to like kind of, you know, give a bit of feedback based on that and see how much better it is in that regard. But yeah, the first thing, dead silence was a perk. So one of my major, one of the few things I dislike about Modern Warfare now is the fact that dead silence is not a perk and it's just a feel-good upgrade, which kind of encourages people to camp a little bit, just because they know that the second they move, they're going to get their position given away by some ridiculously loud footsteps. Now, Vanguard has actually fixed this issue by obviously adding dead silence as a perk, which was a really good idea, but then for some reason it's also still a field upgrade. Not really sure of the point there, but yeah, dead silence is a perk in Black Ops Cold War. There's no field upgrade to make you, you know, to even do a similar thing to that, which is kind of cool. I'm just more of a fan of it being a perk, so it's there the entire game rather than, you know, just a few minutes, not even that, like 10 seconds out of the game, and it makes it really annoying because people start camping, and that was one thing that I think Black Ops Cold War did very well. There was much less campers than Modern Warfare, which was always good. The next thing I want to talk about is map design. Now, map design in Black Ops Cold War is actually relatively interesting. Now, there is not that many shiters, in my opinion, other than Cartel and Miami. I don't know why I don't like Cartel. I just really don't. I think because of the beta, it gave me PTSD. Like, oh my god, I hated that map in the beta. And I hate it still to this day. It might not even be that bad of a map now, but I still hate it. And Miami is obviously the main, like, go-to hated map on Black Ops Cold War, just because it's terrible. There's literally no other way of putting it. The design is just awful. I don't even know what's happening. Even Miami Strike, which I think is what it's called, it's like the daytime version of it, even that's horrible. Like, they didn't even fix it there either, so I don't know what the point of making the whole daytime version was, because it was just awful. What was the point? But yeah, and there are quite a few good maps in Black Ops Cold War, especially some of the original ones, which I'm going to go over. I really like the one with like the airplane in the middle, kind of like the Siege map, if any of you guys know that, but it's kind of like a training center. There's what's the one where it's set in Berlin, and it's like a tank factory. It kind of reminds me of the map in Modern Warfare that I kind of liked. But yeah, some of the maps like that. I'm trying to think of names. I'm really bad with map names as of recent. Like the classics, obviously, High Rise, Scrapyard, Rust, Crash, you know, Castle, what's the other one? And Dome. It took me long enough for that one. Shipment, obviously, God forbid. You guys know my opinions on Modern Warfare Shipment. But yeah, like stuff like that I'm really good at remembering the names of, but then there's the recent maps, like, they just have the most generic names. I'm sorry, but they do. I'm trying to think. There was a snow... Oh, yeah, that's one, isn't it? Something Crossroads. I'll put a picture of it up on screen right now. I really like that map, and it was probably one of the... At launch, it was probably the best map in the game. Maybe not so much now, because they've added so many fucking DLC maps into the game, which is obviously a good thing, don't get me wrong. But yeah, they've added in so many DLC maps, it's kind of like hard to keep up with like how many maps there are in this game. One standout DLC map for me is Deprogram. I think I talked about this on stream once, if you've watched me any of my streams. If not, go follow me on Twitch. It's a very fun way to stay up to date with what games I'm playing and just chat on stream and stuff. Is really good fun. But yeah, Deprogram, now that was an interesting map, and that's what I liked about it's just an interesting concept. You're inside Adler's mind. Like, why has that never been done in a Call of Duty game before? I really like the out there ridiculous maps that Call of Duty did. There's the sandbox in World War II I really liked. There's, what's it called, in Black Ops 3, the one where it's on a picnic table. That one, you know which one I mean. But yeah, those like kind of ridiculous maps are kind of like the fun ones, I guess you could say, and stuff like that. And then there's like the remakes that they had that aren't as ridiculous. There's Grind, which was in Black Ops 4, obviously originally in Black Ops 2, and I can't remember is it Rush? Is it Rush? You know, the paintball map they added to Cold War, and it's actually really good. But yeah, there is a lot of really good maps, but Deprogram is probably my favourite map in the game right now. Just because of the interesting aesthetic. I like the way the map plays with the teleporters, stuff like that. Honestly, I just wish Call of Duty would do some more like interesting maps, because those are the ones that kind of like get my attention the most. And yeah, but other maps like from the base game, I genuinely cannot remember any. Checkmate is the one with the plane in the middle. Crossroads was the map I really liked. Armada was a bit shit. Garrison's the Tank Factory one. Miami shit. Moscow and Satellite. Now, Satellite was really good. I like Satellite. Moscow was okay, I guess. It was an okay map. There was not much else really to say about it. But yeah, it was just an okay map. Satellite was obviously really good fun. I had so many fond memories from that. I hope it actually gets remade in future Call of Duty games, just because it's such a good map. I really enjoy it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the maps there. We're going to move on to the next thing, which is that Black Ops Cold War is actually very colourful, unlike Modern Warfare, and that's one of the major criticisms of Infinity Ward games. They're not very colourful in their map design or even their colour palette. But Treyarch games tend to go all out and make like an arcadey looking game, and that's what I really like about them. Like, even though Treyarch has put out like 2 shiters pretty much in a row, they're still probably my favourite development studio, because Black Ops 4, you guys know my opinions on Black Ops 4, I'm not a massive fan. Black Ops Cold War's okay, I enjoyed it. It's just, as you can tell by the title, it's a massive disappointment, and it had so much potential. But yeah, the colour palette in Black Ops Cold War I really like. Obviously, graphically, it's not the best. I think, honestly, Modern Warfare 2019 looks better graphically. But colour-wise, I think that Black Ops Cold War definitely takes the edge here. The next thing I want to talk about is the lack of things that slow down gameplay. Obviously, I mentioned that Dead Silence is a perk in this game, which obviously speeds up the gameplay significantly. But there was more things, like no doors, which was, obviously, that's in Vanguard and Modern Warfare, but it's kind of way more of an issue in Modern Warfare than it is in Vanguard. I've noticed that the pacing of Vanguard is actually pretty decent, to be fair. Like, a lot of my complaints that I had in my beta video about Vanguard have kind of been rectified, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, there's no doors or no mounting. Mounting was just ridiculous, especially when you were going for camo challenges. But yeah, it's just kind of like, why is this needed in a Call of Duty game? They tried to introduce leaning into Call of Duty Ghost, no one liked it, so they removed it and everyone turned it off anyway. It's like mounting, why the fuck would you include that? Seriously. That's like my major complaint about Modern Warfare 2019 gameplay wise. It's just like, there's so many things in the game that are designed to slow down the pace, like doors. Obviously you can peek through them or you can just run straight through them, and then obviously mounting and people going for camo challenges was absolutely infuriating. So I was very glad that wasn't in Black Ops Cold War, because it just made Black Ops Cold War a much faster paced game, which kind of takes us on to a future point. But it was very fast paced, but it had a slower time to kill. We're going to get onto that in a bit. But the next thing I wanted to quickly talk about is the 80s theme on the maps themselves. Now, I really love the 80s, as many people know. A lot of the music I listen to nowadays is from the 80s. And yeah, it's just a very interesting time period to me. So to have 80s themes on a map, it just kind of made sense to me. Like, that's why I loved Miami when it first came. Well, not even when it first came out. When we first saw it, just because it looks so fucking good, that map, with all like the neon lights, like 80s cars and stuff like that. Just like the little things that make it all seem really good. And Black Ops Cold War is very good with the little things, I'd say. Like, it's just kind of how they managed to create a better scenery for the multiplayer maps. Obviously, 90% of the time you're not even noticing it because you're too busy trying to shoot some dude. But yeah, it's just these little details in the map that I really like. Like the TVs on Raid and stuff like that, the cars on all the maps. Just like the technology in general is very 80s-ish, and like the way you even call in the kill streaks as well. It is literally a Nokia brick it's just what isn't there to love about that? That's amazing. But yeah, 80s theming, honestly, can't go wrong with it in my opinion. Obviously, if it doesn't fit, then it doesn't fit. But in an 80s set game, just having like convincing set pieces is obviously a really good thing, and I honestly really love that about Black Ops Cold War. The next thing I want to talk about is much more fast-paced. I don't know why face-paced means, but much more fast-paced than Modern Warfare. Now, Modern Warfare was a very slow-paced game until it got to the actual gunfights, which were over in like a fraction of a second. But Black Ops Cold War improves on both of those aspects. Obviously, no doors, no mounting, dead silence is a perk, so you can run it whenever, so people aren't afraid to run around and get absolutely shat on. But yeah, it's just the little things add up in a game like Call of Duty, like the things that, you know, slow down the gameplay, that kind of just leads to a game where people don't really move and they tend to sit in corners like Modern Warfare. But yeah, that's just kind of like one thing I really enjoyed. You guys might prefer the slower pace, which I don't know how. What, you're playing the wrong game if you want a slow pace Call of Duty. But then the next thing to do with slowness is a slower time to kill. Now you're probably wondering, why would you want a slower time to kill in a faster paced game? Well, the answer to that is it simply makes the game more about gun skill instead of who can melt the fastest. Like the amount of times that I've been drop-shotted in Black Ops Cold War, it's impressive. Like, drop-shotting is a legitimate way to play Call of Duty, despite what some developers, i.e. Treyarch, have said in the past. But yeah, it's just kind of like more skill to the game, and obviously whoever has the most skill in these situations wins. But then I'll get on to why that isn't the case in Black Ops Cold War in a bit. But yeah, the next thing I wanted to quickly mention is that pretty much all the guns are usable in this game. Obviously, there are some exceptions, like, the new SMG that's just come out. There is all sorts in this game that is just completely overpowered. The Tech 9, when that came out, was overpowered. The Otis 9 was also overpowered. The PPSH came out and it wasn't too bad, I would say, but most of the guns when they came out were completely OP. Despite that, all the guns are actually usable in this game, which is kind of like a first for Call of Duty. Usually there's some like shiter gun that no one ever fucking uses, but honestly, I can't think of any guns off the top of my head, other than launchers, that I haven't actually seen in multiplayer. I'm pretty sure I've seen like the entire fucking selection right there, which is really good because weapon balance means that people will use other guns other than the meta ones, and that's good for the game. But you see different variety in the game, which is always good to me. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the campaign. Now, the campaign I played through on this channel, as many of you guys know, and I really enjoyed it. I was a bit confused by the end of it, but I actually enjoyed it after I had some time to reflect and think about it. And the reason why is it was much deeper than a lot of Call of Duty campaigns go. I do prefer Modern Warfare's campaign, but this was a pretty good second place, I'll be honest with you. But the questions of morality, like who do you help at the end of the game, if you haven't played it, just go and watch my Let's Play. Like, it's genuinely... It's all on this channel. I'll try and remember to link it down below in the description. But yeah, if you're not interested in the campaign or you haven't completed it yet, just kind of like skip this point. Introduces questions of morality, like who do you help at the end of the game? Like Adler has just brainwashed you, but the alternative is the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union isn't exactly very nice. Multiple endings, just like Black Ops 2, which is obviously my favourite Call of Duty of all time. But yeah, the multiple endings, there was 3 endings in this game. You had the good ending, which is the one I got in my Let's Play, the bad ending, and then the very bad ending, or the evil ending, as I like to call it. But yeah, the evil ending basically ends with the world getting nuked. So does the bad ending, but the evil ending is like you actually cause it. And then also decisions that like affect your playthrough of the game. Like there's a mission in Cuba where you have to save one of the guys versus Park. I can't even remember the other guy's name, and that's atrocious. But yeah, you either pick Park or this other guy, and I picked Park in my playthrough, so she was alive for the rest of the game, which was really cool. And it's just little decisions like that, and also like the side missions that you can do at the start of the game. It doesn't doesn't matter what order you do them in. However, it will like affect things, and how many of the side missions you do also kind of like affects how like complete the campaign is, and like different things can happen if you do all these side missions. So yeah, it's a really good campaign. Definitely recommend you guys go and play it. Now, the next point is zombies. Now, you guys know how much I really enjoy Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and honestly, I think it's genuinely one of the best zombies games we've had since Black Ops 3. I'd say Black Ops 3 is my favourite just because of like the custom zombies and all sorts like that. But it was a pretty solid second. Like Firebase Z, I've not played Toten. Forsaken was pretty good. D Machina, obviously, I'm nostalgic for D Machina already, and so am I for Firebase Z. Like, they were just such good fucking maps. Like, I really enjoyed them. The Wonder Weapon's really cool. Like, the Ray K, absolutely loved that. I can't even remember what the Wonder Weapon on Forsaken's called, the Axe, which you're seeing on screen right here. And yeah, it's just such a good map. I love Forsaken. I love Toten. I love Firebase Z, and I love D Machina. They're all such good maps, and hopefully when Vanguard Zombies decides to fix itself and stop having a seizure, we will get some round-based maps that are as good as D Machina. But yeah, the Wonder Weapons in this game were just phenomenal. The Axe was like a standout one for me. Like, just the gameplay you're seeing on screen here, I was having so much fucking fun with the Halloween event, and, you know, obviously running around with the axe. It was just so much fucking fun. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's going to be it for the zombies point, because honestly, there's not too much to say about zombies other than it's zombies. It's a very good zombies experience. Obviously, the addition of custom classes, the stuff like that made the grind to Dark Aether much easier. And I really appreciate that. I really like Dark Aether as a camo. I think it's just like the classic dark matter brought back. And then obviously DM Ultra was a pretty cool design. It could have looked better in my opinion, but I like the kind of aesthetic, I guess you could say. Not the overall design, but like the aesthetic is pretty good. But yeah, custom classes, new perks, Elemental Pop is probably a standout for me. Obviously, we got returning perks such as Mule Kick, which was pretty obvious that was going to come because it's kind of like essential for those high round zombies games when you want free weapons. Jug returned, which was obviously good because everyone complained about that in Black Ops 4. Like, why the fuck did you remove Juggernog? One small complaint I have is that Quick Revive doesn't function the same way it did in original Zombies, but it's kind of like not even that much big of an issue to me. But yeah, in a few years I'll definitely be going back and playing Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and obviously I am going to do a playthrough of the Vanguard Zombies map, which God help me. But yeah, honestly I regret not finishing the playthroughs of the Zombies maps in this game. Like, I started Firebase Z, I did one episode, and then the whole fucking thing corrupted. And yeah, I never got to play Toten, or I never got to play Forsaken, which was really upsetting. But yeah, you have seen some gameplay of Forsaken, so that's pretty good. But yeah, the next thing I wanted to talk about is kill streaks. Now, the kill streaks in this game are actually really fucking good on certain maps. Like on Countdown, I think it is, the one with the plane in the middle. The VTOL is fucking useless because you're not going to get any kills with it. The Chopper Gunner made a return, which I was so happy about. I absolutely love the Chopper Gunner in Black Ops 1. It's such an iconic kill streak. The hand cannon was basically the Annihilator pistol from Black Ops 3 and 4. So obviously I appreciated that, and it was obviously given a more 80s theme with basically just a Desert Eagle with a laser sight on it, which looked really cool. The War Machine was a lot of fun. I remember using that in the beta. The VTOL I actually really like as well. It was kind of like my go-to kill streak. But other than that, there was not too many standout options that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, there was the Napalm Strike, that was pretty good, but that was like your standard like airstrike kind of kill streak. You had all sorts in this game. It was actually kind of insane. Like how there's like not the Chopper Gunner, but it was like a attack chopper. That was pretty good. I have got a few of those. I've had a VTOL quite a lot. I've had a Chopper Gunner like once, and I think I've had the attack helicopter a good few times. But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is the return of the classic maps, which made the game a hell of a lot better. Because I will be honest, like even though I did kind of enjoy some of the starting maps, they were just meh. But then we got like maps like Zoo, Raid, Rush, Hijacked, stuff like that. I know Xavvo doesn't really like Hijacked in this game, but I actually really do. I thought it was a great map, and it's probably one of my favourites. But yeah, we got so fucking many good classic maps. I was so surprised that Rush came back. I thought Grind was going to come back, to be honest with you, because Grind was just such a cool map, and I really enjoyed it. But we got Rush, which I'm not complaining about, because I actually think I prefer Rush over Grind now, which is really cool. But Raid, obviously, that was going to come back. It was in Black Ops 3. Pretty sure they brought it back with the like Chronicle thing they did with Black Ops 4. And yeah, it was just like, it's been in every Treyarch game, so it kind of made sense to bring it back. But then Zoo as well. Now, Zoo was a Black Ops 1 map for everyone that didn't know. And yeah, when they brought that back, I was really surprised. So I was just happy they brought back some like, you know, obscure maps as well as the OG ones that everyone likes. So the next thing I want to talk about, and the second to last thing, is the Warzone integration. Warzone integration was something I was expecting from like the second they announced Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And yeah, it worked pretty well, like adding all the weapons. They're basically just the ground loot now in Warzone. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much more about Warzone because there's not really that much to say about it other than the integration was good. It kind of went off relatively seamless. Obviously, some of the guns were really overpowered at the start, but now yeah, it's not too bad. And I think when the Vanguard weapons start dropping in Warzone, it's going to be a nightmare to behold. But then again, we are getting a whole new map for Warzone in a few weeks, actually, so that's pretty exciting. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in the good category is the Halloween event. Now, the Halloween event is literally just ended as I'm recording this. Well, I say that, I'm recording this on the 10th. It ended 8 days ago, and it was a lot of fucking fun. The way they improved zombies, I made a whole video about this, by the way, so go check it out. But yeah, I made a whole video about this, how it improves zombies. They added infected, they added operators like Ghostface from the Scream movies, and then some other fucking dude that I don't remember. It was like how they did in Modern Warfare when they added Leatherface, and who was the other guy? It was Jigsaw, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, because that's who I had in my video I made with Xavvo. And the Haunting event looks pretty cool. I never actually got to play with it because obviously I went on holiday, which if you guys have been watching my vlogging channel, all the vlogs are now up over there. I've just edited the third one as I'm recording this, and it's just uploaded, so that is really good. But yeah, the event was just interesting. There's no other way of putting it, really. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the good category. I am aware that we are 25 minutes in already, so obviously this is going to be a much longer video than usual, and obviously it's probably going to maybe even surpass the Modern Warfare video, who knows. But anyway, other than that, we're going to move on to the meh now. So yeah, let's fucking do this. So, welcome to the meh category, everyone, and a lot of these are going to be very similar to last year. Mainly because I think the meh category is kind of like a yearly thing now. Obviously, there is like some variation in the final point, because in the Modern Warfare video I made last year, obviously I complained about Captain Price's voice actor being changed, and in this video we're going to change about some voice actors being changed for Black Ops Cold War in the campaign, so we are going to get into that. But the first thing I quickly want to talk about, there is only 3 points, is the fact that the AK-74U is so meta. So, if you don't know, everyone basically uses that gun because it's so fucking good. And in fact, it's my favourite gun in the game, believe it or not. But it is just a fun weapon to use, but it is kind of really OP. It is in the meh category because obviously I like this weapon. And I don't think it's a big deal that it's that OP because it's not like it's so OP that no one uses anything else. People do use other guns, like in this gameplay you've seen I'm using the M16. I'm not sure if we would have changed gameplays yet. I don't think we would have, because this has like, maybe like 7 minutes, not 7 minutes, about maybe 2 or 3 minutes left of this like little gameplay. So you guys probably are still seeing the M16 gameplay at the moment. It's probably just about to end. But yeah, AK-74U, extremely meta. I do wish people would use more guns more often, but it's not like it's a massive deal in my opinion. I don't think it is that big of a deal in this game. Like, it's overpowered, but it's not ridiculously overpowered. We're not talking about the ASM-1 in Advanced Warfare before, obviously before it got patched, or the STG and MP40 in Vanguard, because those things are fucking awful. Like, I think I complained a bit about this on stream last night, but yeah, they're not exactly great in terms of gameplay-wise. But yeah, we are going to move on to the next point now. And that is, the item packs are still pretty expensive. So once again, a reuse point from last year. But yeah, they are pretty expensive still. It is 20 quid for those 2,400 COD points to buy like a decent pack. But yeah, it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. I know people have been like complaining about, oh yeah, $20 anime skins. But honestly, to me, that's not big of an issue, because obviously it's better than the alternative. Like, you're paying for something that isn't game-changing in any way, and it literally is just a cosmetic. So if people want to pay that, that's fine. Like, I don't really see an issue with that. Obviously, creator codes are still in the game, which is always good, because that means you can support people while buying them, buying like your COD points and buying the battle pass, etc, etc. And yeah, honestly, I think this is the best system still that we've ever had in COD, because honestly, the alternative of supply drops, or what the fuck did they call them in Black Ops 4? It was like reserves or something like that. Yeah, they were just awful, and there was actual like game-changing content in them that you could have potentially spend like thousands and thousands of dollars and still not get, or you could spend like 100 quid and get it, and then everyone's like, oh, I want that gun, and then figure out it's in supply drops, etc, etc, and then have to spend loads of money to try and get it. And like, even when I bought supply drops in Black Ops 3, I think I bought like one set of rare supply drops with COD points in Black Ops 3. I never got any of the DLC weapons. I had a few from just random supply drops that I got here and there, but whenever I bought them, I never got them, which was really weird. Which I really like Modern Warfare Remastered supply drop system, where you could, like, you know, buy supply drops still, but the stuff that was in the supply drop, you could like get, what was it called, salvage, and then use the salvage to build the weapon, basically, which that was an alright system. But honestly, I do think what we have now with the battle passes, and obviously like stuff in the store as well, is a lot better, because the stuff in the store that you actually can out and out buy instead of getting a chance to win, like the stuff in the store, you basically pay the money and you get the item. It's not like supply drops where you could potentially pay thousands and still not get the items you want. You are literally paying out and out for stuff that isn't locked behind supply drops. I almost said a paywall. It isn't locked behind chance, and it isn't game-changing. So even if you want to spend that money, it doesn't affect anyone else, really, other than the fact you've got a cool skin, which might encourage people to buy it. But other than that, they don't need to. Like, I think that's just a personal preference kind of thing. If you really like a skin, you can go and buy it. I think there's no issue with that. And I've seen a lot of YouTubers actually complaining about the price, and I just think that there's no point, really. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next point, but however, someone has just walked into our flat, and I'm assuming it's one of my roommates, but they were just like being so fucking loud. It's either them or the cleaners, because they actually clean like the outside of the flat, like in the hallways and in the kitchen sort of thing. But obviously the rooms, that's our responsibility, and that's hence why mine's a bit of a mess, and I don't want to make a gaming title video just yet, just because my room is an absolute tip. Eventually I'm going to get around to tidying it. I do need to get a hoover of some kind in here and just like hoover up, because honest to God, we don't have any in our flat, so I don't know what the hell they were thinking there. But anyway, the next point is the fact that they changed the voice actors for Muds? Fucking hell, I just combined Mason and Woods. Woods, Mason and Hudson. Now, this isn't that big of a deal. I do think that the new voice actors aren't as good as the original ones, just because, obviously, I'm an OG COD fanboy. But, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. I don't really care. Like, I think the Woods, the guy who plays Woods now, isn't as good. And honestly, I didn't actually properly notice when I played through the campaign. But maybe that's because I haven't heard Woods' voice in, like, I don't know, 10 plus years at that point. It was kind of mad. But yeah, Honestly, not that big of an issue to me. Obviously, Hudson I'd never really heard speak before. I couldn't remember playing through Black Ops 1. I am probably going to go back and maybe play it and see how different it is. So maybe I might make a follow-up video if it's that different. But yeah, Woods, I didn't really notice. Mason, I definitely didn't notice because I think he has like 4 lines of dialogue in the entire game because he can, like, obviously he was the main character in Black Ops 1. When they added him into Black Ops Cold War, you played through him for a few missions, but other than that, I can't actually remember hearing him speak properly. And then Hudson, as I said, I couldn't remember from Black Ops 1. But yeah, that's it for the meh there. And we're going to move on to the bad now, which is going to be an even longer segment of the video, because obviously this was nearly 8 minutes long, which is kind of mad. But yeah, this is going to be a ridiculously long video. I apologise for that. But, you know, there's a lot to say about this game. Obviously, the good took up a good, like, 25 minutes plus, I think. And then, obviously, I assume the bad is going to take just about as long. So, yay, that's going to be fun. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next segment. So here we are, guys, the penultimate point of the video, and yeah, this is probably going to be the longest point of the video just because of the sheer amount of points I've got here. Like, I think there's about 20, so yeah, we're going to be here a while. I apologise for that. This video might even be an hour long, I'm not even too sure, but yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that the game was rushed. Now, obviously I mentioned at the very start of the video that this was originally a joint Sledgehammer Games Raven Software title, but Treyarch took over in probably about 2019, maybe late 2018, but Treyarch took over after just making Black Ops 4, and yeah, that explains a lot of the rushing, because they had to get this game out for 2020, and I still stand by that they should have delayed this game. Like, I don't know, I think it would have been so much better if we got Cold War this year with like an actual complete game, and then we got Vanguard next year, we got Modern Warfare 2019 2, as I'm going to call it, or Modern Warfare 2 2022. Yeah, if we get that, but yeah, that would come out in 2023 instead. So yeah, it would have made a lot more sense if they just delayed the game and, you know, pushed it through and could have got better content out of it. But nope, they decided to release it into 2020. And when the game came out, it was basically just dead on arrival, because half the fucking things didn't work, and in fact some of the things that were there at launch still haven't been fixed. I don't know how, but they just still haven't fixed it. The next point is the kill streak system. Right, show of hands real quick. Obviously I can't see you, but show of hands. Who actually likes the kill streak system in Black Ops Cold War, or the score streak system? No one. What the fuck were they thinking when they made this system? I remember seeing this in the multiplayer review, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure my reaction's still on this channel, actually. But it's just moronic, really. Like, why on earth can these, you know, low-skill players be getting fucking air patrols, which just take down your kill streaks instantly? I honestly don't understand. Like, it's not hard to get an air patrol. You can literally just get a few kills and then wait out the game. Like, it's not hard if you're a decent, like, bad player. I don't know if those words go together, but say you're a bad player, but you can have a decent game, you can get an air patrol. It's simple as. Like, honestly, even looking back at this now, I still hate it, because it makes no sense. Why it's called a streak, not a fucking monotonous length of time. Why is it a streak? There is no streak about it. Going on a streak is a repeated, you know, like getting the same thing over and over again. In this case, it would have been score. But why on earth is this called a streak? Because, you know, when you die, that should reset your streak, right? Because it does. But it doesn't reset your score? I don't even know. I honestly don't even know what the fuck the point of this was. Like, it's just so confusing. Why on earth is this in the game? Why did they think this would be a good idea, genuinely? Like, anyone can get a spy plane. Like, And obviously it wasn't very hard to get spy plane in the first place, it's only 4 kills, but now you can get that spy plane pretty much without doing jack shit in the game. It makes no sense, honestly. It was like how specialists, back in the day, the specialist weapons, were basically just a free kill streak. This year we just had fucking anyone can get the kill streaks anyway, so... But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is the prestige system. Now, I still don't fucking understand how prestige works in this game. Is it the same as Modern Warfare? Is it a combination of both, of like the classic prestige system? Honestly, I do not know. I genuinely do not know. I've played this game all year, and I still don't know how the fucking prestige system works. Like, whose idea was it? Honestly, I'm not a massive fan of the seasonal prestige system. I genuinely just think we should have, each prestige going up and up and up. Like, first prestige you have to manually go into, you lose some stuff, etc., etc. Like, I used to always prefer the games where you didn't lose as much stuff. Like, I don't think your weapons should be reset. Maybe, like, the attachments and for your weapons, I think you should keep the camos, though, because that makes things infuriating if you're going for, like, dark matter or whatever. But, yeah, prestige system, still don't fucking understand it. I probably never will, to be fair, because it was just so fucking complicated. I honestly don't get it. But, yeah, the next thing I want to talk about was the engine was a downgrade from Modern Warfare 2019. Now, if you don't remember, Modern Warfare 2019 got a brand new spankling engine that basically was just like a proper next-gen engine. Well, Black Ops Cold War decided to go back to the old engine, and as a result, the game feels dated as fuck. Like, graphically, it's not very nice. Like, it's still definitely an old-gen title. Like, even though it was released, it was the first Call of Duty game released on the next-gen consoles. It genuinely just felt worse than Modern Warfare 2019 in terms of graphics. Obviously, I did mention before, in terms of graphical fidelity, and obviously in colour, I think Black Ops Cold War takes the cake. But in the actual, like, sheer graphics power and just, like, how smooth the engine feels, Modern Warfare feels a lot smoother, I'll be honest with you. I just don't understand why they decided to go down in the engine. Maybe Raven and Sledgehammer had picked the old-gen engine and Treyarch just had to roll with it. Who knows at this point? But honestly, it's there. It's part of the game, so I think it's kind of good to complain about, because hopefully the next Treyarch game will be on the Modern Warfare engine. This engine, I believe, is about 5 or 6 years old. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? It's 5 or 6 years old when I don't even remember what the engine for Modern Warfare was called, but when that came out, it was literally like a year old. It was really new in terms of engines, but yeah, it was just like, they decided to use the old one anyway. Not complaining, because the game was okay in the end of the day, but it was just like, what was the point? And I believe an alarm has just gone off. That's probably Superdrug, because there's a Superdrug near us, and the alarm goes off at all sorts of random times. Who knows why it goes off half the time? Like, I genuinely have no clue. But yeah, it's just retarded. But yeah, we are going to move on to the next point, and yeah, that is Outbreak. Now, Outbreak in itself is not a bad idea in my opinion. I quite liked Outbreak, but the fact that it took focus away from traditional zombies maps, like, we got Outbreak maps every now and then, but why the fuck weren't we getting fucking traditional zombies maps, like the round-based ones? I think Sledgehammer can definitely take notes from that with Vanguard Zombies, which is horrible. Actually, it's Treyarch making that as well, isn't it? Fucking hell, I forgot about that. But after Season 5, it was just kind of like, traditional zombies was just kind of forgotten about until Forsaken came out, and that was obviously a banger. But, yeah, it's just like they kind of forgot about it, and I don't understand why. Like, traditional zombies is just way better than Outbreak. There's no other way of putting it. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Outbreak. And, yeah, we're going to move on now to the Marshall Pistols. The Marshall Pistols were OP, I don't know what the fuck that was. The Marshall Pistols were completely OP, and the devs just didn't nerf them. They were added in, Season 5, and they just never got a nerf since then. We've had months in between when they were added and now, and they just didn't nerf them, because everyone in fucking Search and Destroy runs these as the secondaries, because they can absolutely destroy people. And Treyarch somehow thought that was a good idea to have these guns in the game. No clue why, but they thought it was a good idea. So, yeah, obviously we can't argue with that logic. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Dark Aether and Dark Matter, still fucked. When the game came out, it was fucked, and it's still fucked. Like, it doesn't even cover half the fucking weapon. Like, if you look at, I can't even remember what it was. I think it was a camo that someone had put on in Warzone with all the attachments on. It was literally just the magazine that had Dark Matter on it. So what the fuck is that? And they just didn't fix it, and it doesn't even cover the entirety of the gun. Like, why the fuck is that a thing? Why doesn't the camo cover the entire fucking weapon? And the thing is that cracks me up about that is that the devs, the Treyarch devs, came out and they said that it was subjectively good. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? How the fuck is this subjectively good? I honestly don't understand. What the fuck? Like the Spaz 12 or whatever it was called in this game, literally half the fucking gun isn't covered. What was the point? Like, you spent all this time going for Dark Matter, doing fucking grenade launcher challenges, and you get a camo that doesn't even cover the entire fucking gun. But how is that subjectively good? Who out there is sitting down and being absolutely blown away by the fact it doesn't cover half the gun? Like, could you imagine just sitting down like, oh wow, it doesn't cover like 90% of the gun. That's a really good camo, that. Wow, I absolutely love this game. Who the fuck is thinking that? That's my question for you guys. Like, genuinely, what kind of a clinical moron sits down and thinks this is subjectively good? Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a shorter point, but Fireteam Dirty Bomb, I played it twice, I hated it. There's not much more to say, really. What was the point of adding this to the Call of Duty? Genuinely. No one fucking plays it. No one actually cares about it. What the fuck was the point? I remember when it was coming out, people were hyping it up, and then it was just shit. They just used the same maps as Outbreak. Well, obviously they used Outbreak, came out after Fireteam Dirty Bomb, but it was just the maps were so terrible. What the fuck? They were just massive. There was people sat all over the place. No one fucking did anything. It was the most boring game ever. Why the fuck was it in the game when you could have worked on traditional multiplayer maps? And that takes us nicely on to the next point. The game launched with only 8 original maps. 8 original maps. What the fuck? We had a go at World War II, and that came out for launching with 9. We had an absolute fucking kick-off at Sledgehammer Games when they launched World War II with 9 maps. But when Black Ops Cold War launches with 8, no one gives a shit. I don't know why, maybe it was because it was Treyarch, but, like, even then, over the next, 6 seasons that we got, 8 original maps came to the game. The vast majority of the maps that came to the game were remakes. What the actual fuck? Oh my god, that is just, that was appalling, to be honest. I wanted to see original maps, like, I talked about this in the first part, but Deprogram was such a good map. Why didn't we see anything like that before then? It was literally the last map to come out for the game, and yet, why did you save the best till last? Like, why couldn't you just give us consistent bangers? I honestly don't get it. Like, Echelon was okay. There was a few okay maps that they released. Most of the really good maps in the game were remakes. Obviously, I really like Deprogram. America was pretty good. But yeah, other than that, there was 8 maps at launch. Let that sink in. Vanguard launched with double the maps that Cold War had. Double. That's not even an exaggeration. There is 16 multiplayer maps, your standard 6v6 maps, and there is 16 of these maps. And then 4 more if you count, what's it called, Champions Hill. 4 more. Honestly, it fucking baffles me, this game, that they launched with that little content. And obviously, a lot of stuff did get added, don't get me wrong, which made the game a lot better. But it's just the fact it launched with 8 maps, 8 not particularly very amazing maps. Like, they were pretty decent, but they weren't amazing. And then obviously there was the 2 shiters I talked about with Cartel and Miami. So that's 6 good maps, 6 average maps I should say, in the game at launch. And then obviously we got 8 original maps coming in DLC over 6 seasons. And I believe Season 2 just didn't have any original maps. Like, what the fuck? Like, genuinely, honestly, it baffles me how a Call of Duty game can launch with that little content, and maybe it's because Vanguard chose to put 16 multiplayer maps in just because Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite are coming out this year, which are going to be massive competitors, and they're not competing with Battle Royale, because obviously we can say with absolute certainty that Call of Duty basically owns Battle Royale with Warzone, and yeah, but these games aren't competing with Warzone, they're competing with 6v6 multiplayer. And Halo is absolutely killing it right now. Like, that is the game I'm most hyped for this year. Obviously, I've got Vanguard. I'm just waiting for Halo Infinite, and I have to wait less than a month for it, and I'm so excited. But yeah, we are going to move on now, and the next thing is a settings issue, and that is film grain. Now, if you don't know what film grain is, it's basically to make it look like more cinematic-y and 80s-y. I just made up 2 words there. But you can't turn it off. It's really annoying, and you can't turn it off. In Modern Warfare 2019, you can turn it off. In these games, you can't. Even in Vanguard, you can't turn it off. I don't understand why. Like, it makes no sense as to why you can't turn it off. Why is that feature been taken out? And I wouldn't mind, but it wasn't there at launch, and it still isn't there now. A year fucking later. What the fuck are you doing, Treyarch? Get this feature in so we can turn fucking film grain off. It's terrible. Now, the next point is that every time a weapon released, it was fucking broken. Tech 9, broken. Otis 9, broken. Fucking G-Rav or whatever it's called, the Galil, broken. Every fucking gun that came out for this game was broken at the start. Even the Marshals, which they just couldn't be asked to fix for some reason. But every fucking weapon, as it came out, every season was fucking busted. Tech 9 was especially overpowered when that came out. The PPSH was really good in Warzone. There was a gun that came out before that and everyone was fucking complaining about how overpowered it was. The MAC-10. The MAC-10 was completely overpowered. All the guns, as they came out, were completely overpowered. And I don't understand why. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is remakes. Now, remakes of maps, even though they were welcome additions, like, I think the remake maps are probably the best ones in the game. But, yeah, it was just the same ones we always get. We saw them remade in Black Ops 4 and 3. We saw Hijacked, which was obviously remade in Black Ops 3. Slums was in Black Ops 4. Raid, I believe, was in Black Ops 3 and 4. Nuketown has obviously been in every Treyarch game. Standoff was in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops Cold War. I don't know why they keep remaking the same maps. Obviously, there were maps like, what's it called, Drive-In, Zoo, and a bunch of other obscure Black Ops 1 DLC maps that got remade. And I'm happy about that, but the vast majority of the maps were ones we've seen 80 times before. Like, I was so surprised they didn't put grind in this game. Like, as I mentioned before, I was so fucking surprised. Yeah, they did put in Rush, which was pretty cool. But, yeah, we've not seen that remade before, which I really enjoyed. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for that point. We're going to move on now to weapons. This game released with 24 primary weapons and 6 secondaries, so 30 weapons altogether. And that was 5 less than what it was 5 less primary weapons and 4 less secondaries than what Modern Warfare 2019 launched with. Like, why does every year we get less and less content? When Modern Warfare 2019 came out, 29 primaries, that's considered a low number for Call of Duty. Like, I think Modern Warfare 2 has, 35 or something like that. And that's included, I think that's 35 primaries, not even including secondaries. But Modern Warfare 2019 had 29 and 10, but then Black Ops Cold War had even less. I honestly don't understand why we get less and less every year. It makes no sense. The next thing, you probably guessed this one was going to come on this list somewhere. Snipers are completely fucked in this game. Like, I know a lot of people have seen defending snipers, but snipers are fucking broken in this game. They never fixed them, and the thing is, what I would have done is literally just given them a faster ADS time and added flinch. The fact that there is no flinch in this game completely fucks snipers. Do you know why? Because you could be shooting a sniper, you could get every last bullet into him, one off from the kill shot, and if he's accurate enough, he's just killed you. That makes no fucking sense. You've just been shot by about 4 bullets, and yet you just shot me in the fucking head once with a sniper. What is going on with snipers? Seriously, I don't know how they thought this was good game design. I genuinely do not. But yeah, it was special, to say the least. It was fucking special. But yeah, the next thing I want to talk about is that nearly any player could get in an air patrol. I mentioned this before. And you would go on a massive streak, so you went on like a 20 gun streak throughout the entire game, and you get your AC-130, and someone just calls in a fucking air patrol and shoots it down. It is literally like air patrol table tennis. Someone throws up a big streak, air patrol. Someone throws up a fucking VTOL, air patrol. Someone fucking, I don't know, starts touching themselves on the field, air patrol, air patrol, air patrol. It's air patrol every 5 fucking seconds. You cannot get big streaks in this game. It is completely fucking pointless. Like, what is the point? I get that there should be something like an air patrol in the game, and, like, yeah, it should have just been more points to get. Like, only good players can actually get an air patrol, like, and only good players can get an AC-130. It's that sort of, like, you know, idea. But instead of people just fucking throwing air patrols back and forth from each other, it made the game less fun to go on big kill streaks. I remember numerous times where I got a VTOL and then air patrol. It was literally over within 5 seconds. I got a chopper gunner, air patrol. I got a fucking RCXD. Obviously, this is a bit of an exaggeration. You get an RCXD, air patrol. You get a fucking hand cannon, air patrol, care package, air patrol, etc., etc., etc. Obviously, exaggerating a little bit there, because obviously you can't destroy ground streaks with an air patrol. But yeah, honestly, air patrols, they were so annoying in this game, just because everyone threw them up every 5 fucking seconds, because it didn't take a lot of skill to get them. But yeah. That's pretty much it for that point. We are going to go on to the next point, and that is the fact that the devs just fucking abandoned the game. Like, how much little content did we get after Season 4? We got a few decent maps here and there. We got no patches. We got nothing. No word from Treyarch. We know why this is now. They were going to work on Vanguard Zombies and COD 2023, which I was rumoured, I believe, to be like a Black Ops 2 style game, so hopefully that's pretty good. But they just completely fucking abandoned Cold War. And that's actually upsetting to many people who were really enjoying the game. Like, at that time, I was starting to enjoy the game again when Season 6 came out. And, like, I was like, holy shit, this is actually a really good season. But no, they decided to fuck it up and abandon the game. And the fact that they couldn't be asked to fix the game is especially evident with Dark Matter, the Marshals, fucking air patrols. You know what? Someone just needs to call in an air patrol on Treyarch at this point. It's just needed. The last point I want to mention is that fucking Dark Matter challenges are ludicrous. There's no other way of putting it. They are fucking ludicrous. Like, what even are half these camo challenges? Like, take cover and shoot enemies. What the fuck does that mean? Like, the way they registered these, you know, like, the way they registered the challenges was retarded as well. Like, I honestly don't get it. Like, half the time when an enemy was taking cover from me and I killed them, I was like, right, that should count towards my challenge. But it fucking didn't. I was just so confused throughout 90% of this game's lifespan. And there was one where you had to get, like, double kills with rocket launchers or something like that. And then when you got to the grenade launcher, it was just, how the fuck are you meant to get a double kill with a grenade launcher? There is literally a pea shooter. I don't get it. Honestly, there's so much to complain about with this game. I have kind of like summarized the big stuff. There's obviously probably a few little like nitpicky things that you guys can probably find. And if there is any issues with Black Ops Cold War that you guys want to know about, that you guys know about, please put them down in the comments. I honestly want to read what you guys think of this game. In fact, put your whole thoughts about this game in the comments, because I want to read these. I want to see what other people thought, and it's not just me being a fucking whiny puss, you know. But anyway, we are going to move on to the conclusion now, because this video is long enough. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. So, in conclusion today, what have we talked about this video? We've talked about the good reasons why Black Ops Cold War is a decent enough game, but then we mentioned the bad reasons, and in my opinion, the bad with Black Ops Cold War far outweighs the good. Like, there was a lot of good stuff implemented, and that's why Black Ops Cold War is such a disappointment to me. Like, it had the potential to be probably a top 3 Call of Duty of all time for me. Like, with the way the game plays, the way the maps are, the way the guns sound and are all viable. it had a lot of fucking potential to me, and that's why it made such a big disappointment. Like, it was just completely fucked. It was pretty much dead on arrival. Obviously, Treyarch abandoned the game. It was in development hell before it even began, so it was kind of doomed to fail, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Like, there's not much else to say other than Black Ops Cold War failed to meet expectations for me. And honestly, I'm worried about Treyarch's next game. Like, they're already starting to promise a lot with the setting, like I mentioned before. They said that it's going to be a Black Ops 2, so I'm already expecting high things. But I want to keep my expectations low, but hope for the best, because it's a Treyarch game. The last two ones haven't been the best, and it's going to be a hard role to fill up to Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2, as many of you guys know, is my favourite Call of Duty of all time. So it's just going to be an absolute nightmare. Hopefully, they're going to have even longer to develop it, because obviously they might have had like a year of Treyarch developing Black Ops Cold War, and hopefully with 3 they can do a lot better. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a good campaign, a good multiplayer, and good zombies. That's one key thing. And none of this like Outbreak shit. I want a traditional round-based experience. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, but I am going to move on to like a little bit of a prelude where I talk about some channel updates. I have already recorded this clip as I was literally recording it, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't talk about like an overview of the game at all. So here we go with that clip. Phew, this has been a long one. Fucking hell. And there's been numerous distractions as well. I am literally recording this final segment on the 12th. This video has to be up tomorrow, and I'm probably going to set it as a premiere, actually, because that's going to be more fun. But, yeah, honestly, this video took way too long to make. I thought it was going to be a lot shorter. I believe we are about to hit an hour, which is kind of mad. We're after the, transition slide, that was at about 58:25, so we should be about to hit an hour very soon. But yeah, this was a lot longer than my Modern Warfare video, oh my god. And yeah, obviously I am going to just use this end of the video to just do a few little channel updates. Obviously I have been gone for quite a while. I don't think I've uploaded since last Tuesday. Well, actually it's been over a week pretty much, nearly a week anyway, that I've uploaded this video. I'm just checking that now to fact check everything. Yeah, it's been 8 days since I made a video as I'm recording this. It'll be 9 as this video is going up. And yeah, I really apologise for that, but there has been some personal stuff going on at home that I had to go back for, so I couldn't make any videos at home. Obviously, I just got a new laptop, which is pretty damn good. I've been using that to edit daily vlogs over on the second channel, because while I was at home we actually went on holiday for a bit, starting on the day I left, and then I came back on the Monday. So that Monday vlog just went up last night, I think, as I'm recording this, so the night of the 11th. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed that mini daily vlogs. Obviously I do want to do like a vlogmas kind of thing, but I'm actually not sure how I do it, because I obviously don't finish uni until the 13th. So that's like 13 days just gone there. I don't know what to do about it. But yeah, other than that, I am going to be back to making videos. The next video should be on Monday, and I'm hoping that that's going to be THA, because I've not made a video on that for a while, and you guys seem to really, really enjoy it. So hopefully there should be an episode coming out very soon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Obviously, we're on 65 subscribers, 10 more till my end of year goal. I said last year that I wanted to do to get to 75, so hopefully you guys can help me with that by just clicking subscribe, and honestly it really does mean a lot. People are really enjoying the videos at the moment, so I'm honestly really happy to continue making them. And I should have probably got this out, well, I say got this out, probably finished this a bit earlier. It's just I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, as I mentioned at the start of the video, because that's kind of like my addiction at the moment. And honestly, I just play with some of my friends, like they come visit my island and steal my flowers apparently. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Obviously, I do want to have a Vanguard video going out very soon. I want to start the campaign this week at some point. Well, I'll say this week. Next week, I want to start the campaign. I want to start playing zombies. I want to start doing all that stuff, because obviously zombies is shit, as I've mentioned in this video already.
but I do want to play through it and do every map as it comes out, like unlike what I did with Cold War. So I think that could be pretty interesting. But yeah, other than that, that's going to be it for today's video here. I'm going to go and get a McDonald's because I am hungry and I fancy a McDonald's. Plus, it's Friday as I'm recording this, and as many of you guys know on Twitter, I don't eat meat on a Friday, so I don't have anything that doesn't involve meat in the house. And the ready-made meals that I usually get because I can't cook for shit. Yeah, they mainly have meat in them, and the ones that don't are shit, so I don't want to eat those. And when I can get a filet of fish at McDonald's. But anyway, other than that, that's going to be it for today's video here. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you never miss a single video, or alternatively, you can join the Discord server as a link down below. But anyway, this has been QuinntonTV, and I'll see you all in the next one. Holy fucking shit, this game was a disappointment. Holy fuck, it had so much potential.